Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Chris Borland, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Jaden Dugger. All right, one of those things might not be like the others, but there's plenty to like about the Niners' fifth-round draft pick. We're going to take a deep dive into Jaden Dugger's film and break it all down for you on today's Gold Standard podcast presented by Prize Picks. What is good, everybody? Welcome to another Gold Standard podcast. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. That man is Johnny Dell from the Johnny Dell Football Academy YouTube channel. This is the demonetization station where we dive into Niners film, and then the NFL comes and takes all our money. Johnny, we missed you last week because you were off. So happy you're back.
Oh, it's great to be back. And you know what? It's great to be doing a show that's not talking about Brandon Ayuk. I'm just going to say it. I'm ready for that saga to be over. It's not going to be over anytime soon. So, I mean,
no, it is not. This is the third straight show on this network that will be Brandon Ayuk free. So I hope people are enjoying that. I'm certainly enjoying it. We got too much to do, baby. We still are breaking down draft picks. Today is Jaden Dugger, who, of course, was taken in the 5th round. He's one of those magical 5th-round draft picks from the 49ers. He has taken a crazy route to get where he is, right? He's a 0-star recruit coming out of high school as a safety. He goes to Georgetown for 2 years, transfers to Louisiana, becomes a linebacker, first-team All-Sun Belt as a senior, gets no combine invite. You know, everybody was talking about, Kalen Black. The Niners took a guy that didn't get invited to the combine. Well, they actually took 2 because he didn't get one either. And now, of course, pick 154, come on down, Jaden Dugger.
Yeah, Jaden Dugger, interesting prospect. I mean, his first year there at Louisiana, he played defensive end mostly, and then mostly moved to Mike this last year, or middle linebacker. When I watched his tape, the thing I was surprised at was to see how many snaps he actually did take still on the edge. They played him maybe 5 to 10 snaps a game as an stand-up outside linebacker. And so I just wonder, with him being very much a KJ Wright kind of guy, and KJ even said, basically everyone was giving him a hard time because they felt like he was lobbying for himself to be drafted because of the measurables, the length, the height, all of that. And he's somebody that I think, okay, thinking back to what Pete Carroll and Dan Quinn used to do with KJ Wright, a lot of times they would use him as that 5th man on the line. And they would use him as a player. They ran what was called a 4-3 under defense. Really started back with George Seifert and Pete Carroll with George Seifert. That 4-3 under, because everyone was wondering when the 49ers in the mid-90s, were they a 3-4 or were they a 4-3 under? And a 4-3 under is basically you're playing a 4-3 with 3-4 personnel and principles. And so the key was that 5th guy on the line, he was more of a stand-up outside linebacker body type that could drop into coverage. He wasn't as much a pure pass rusher. It was more a big body with length that you could put as a run edge setter, but could also drop into coverage and play well in coverage. You didn't need them to be a pass rusher. And that was KJ Wright, right? He was that guy who could stand up over there. He could make the front stronger with the 5-man front, play the run, make it really hard there, and then also drop into coverage and play well in those positions and have the flexibility to play over the middle of the field or on the sidelines. And that's what you really get with Jaden Dugger, is you get that kind of player. He's not the Fred Warner kind of player. Like this, that was very clear from the film. Not a Fred Warner, real, twitchy hips kind of guy. Good side-to-side speed, really good straight line speed. I wanted to see a lot more effort. That was one of my big knocks coming off the tape. He's got a lot of speed. Didn't see him use it enough. There was just far too many plays where he was jogging, and because when he opened it up, you could tell. And there was just a lot of plays, and I think some of it had to do with he was the best defensive player on a bad defense. And so when that happens, guys, if it's not right there with him, they do kind of just jog and they'll take it a little easy because, well, I'm doing my job. Everybody else isn't doing theirs. And I just wanted to see more effort throughout the plays, just far too many where he would end up as the second guy there. And I'm thinking you should be the first guy there. Yes, it's not your area, but we need you running and running and running. So that was like one of the things that really, really stood out to me very early on. I'm like, this kid looks like he's jogging and he's still moving at the same speed as everybody else. But when he really opens it up, you could see it. And so I think he's an interesting player. His measurables are extremely intriguing as far as the height, the length of the arms is big. He wraps up and uses that length to make tackles. He's got to get stronger. He's got to get thicker. Got to put on some mass. I don't see this as a year one, we're using him in this role specifically kind of player. I think he's a developmental player, which is what you get in the 5th round a lot of times. But clearly this kind of reminds me of Nick Martin last year, as far as a sense of somebody I looked at and with the measurables are really intriguing, but he's probably a year out because of what he needs to do with his body.
And let's be honest, when you've got Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw and some of the other linebackers, Tatum Bethune, that the 49ers have, if you're depending on Jaden Dugger to contribute a lot in year one, things have gone awry, let's just say. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into the film. By the way, I like that cup you got there, Johnny.
Yeah, this is one of my cups on my merch. I'm opening the store tomorrow on my channel. I've got a water bottle as well. A big water bottle. You want to keep a lot of water bottle there with you. You can see the hat. I've taken a lot of flack because there's somebody who comments after every one of our shows says I can't be objective because of the hat I'm wearing. Well, I can now. So that's specifically for you. I got the shirt. It's on the other side of my office here. It has the game-winning play from Super Bowl 23 on it.
Nice.
So take it back. But we're going to start out with some good. Look at the not so good, and then go to the great. But the good is that he's got a real knack for sifting through traffic and keeping his shoulders square to the line. So you're going to see him here. They're going to move this over. They're going to swap spots. He's got to track this. He's the one with the double armbands. You'll see him there. He's got to track this as they're pressing a wide zone. Read the first state, disciplined on the cutback, then read this to the edge. I like how he sifts. And one thing you see is he keeps his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. That means he's in a tackling position. So you need to keep yourself as a linebacker in a position to make a tackle at all times. You can't be surprised. If you're not in position to make a tackle and that moment of truth happens, guess what? You're not going to make a tackle. A lot of times you see guys throw a shoulder out there and it just bounces off. He's able to keep his shoulder square, and he's got a good form tackle in the sense he attacks low. He attacks around the hips. You'll see it over and over again. He takes it down. He does tend to keep his head up, which I like. You don't want to see that head drop too far down. That's when neck injuries happen. But he tends to squat down and attack the hips, wrap, and tackle. So there's not a lot of missed tackles for him. When he gets his hands on guys, the form tackling is good, and he gets them to the ground. It's not always a big hit, which is fine. For me, I will take, just like here, he's going to attack the near hip, and he's going to wrap up. This is a really good form tackle. This is a lost art in the NFL. There's too many guys who don't form tackle well. He keeps the shoulders square, gets down low, attacks the near hip, wraps, and gets him to the ground. This is something that just was over and over again on film. Here he is. You're going to see him work through this. This is a duo run. He's got to sift out. He's got to check here and then check here. So he's got to check both gaps. There it is. First one, stays square to the line and makes a good tackle. And you see those arms just wrap guys up. Here he is, number 3. So you can see him stay square, then wrap up and make a stop. That I would say his biggest strength is his ability to stay square to the line as he kind of works through this traffic. He doesn't turn and turn. He moves laterally, side to side. Those are things you want to see from a linebacker because they can stay in a good position to tackle. Too many times when guys turn and run, they over pursue. They run past the ball. They'll turn and run, and they can't come back this way. So he keeps square, makes a lot of tackles that way. I mean, this kid had a lot of tackles his senior year. I think it was 125 tackles last year he had. Just wild tackle numbers. And here you're going to see it on a little toss out here, his ability to stay square on this. Like, this is what I mean. He's not just turning and running. He's moving down. The shoulders are square. He's going to get out here, square up to the ball carrier and make an open field tackle. That is textbook. That is how, if you do spring drills, that's how you do your spring drills to teach guys to make tackles in space. Get out here, keep your hips and shoulders square, break down, keep your eyes on the belly button, and make a tackle. So a lot of good open field tackling. You see him here, sift through this. Again, shoulder square and make a good low tackle. That's what you like to see. Get down there low, bang, attack those hips. You can see he just swallowed his arms swallow guys up. So, and then this, I was just showing what I saw a number of times, played edge. You expect to see him lined up off the ball every time, but this is somebody I think that was a very attractive skill set of his, that he can play as an outside linebacker type.
I like what I've seen so far, but like you said, this is the good. And if we don't like the good, then we got problems. Do you have more good, or are we going to get into some of the areas where maybe he needs to improve?
We'll get into some areas that he needs to improve, and then we'll go to the great. What makes him exciting? Because I mean, that's like, just, you want to see, okay, you've got a good foundation, you've got the fundamentals are good. The other thing, though, is that this is where, I mean, he needs to develop. So he's going to be here. He's got to add mass. He's coming in on a blitz here. He is 6'3". Okay, he should be blowing this running back up. Like, this is the running back steps up to take him on. This should be an absolute, murder scene. Instead, he gets stonewalled. I want to see you bring more thump to the party. I want to see you be a little tougher. Here you see too many times he gets swallowed up by the offensive line. So here, this guy gets him. He's not able to disengage. He gets held, swallowed up. He's got the arm length that you would like. Like, this guy should be eating up blocks from centers. Like, centers have short arms. No center, and guards should not be. Guards have shorter arms. They shouldn't be able to get into his body with his length. But too often, they got into him without him fighting them off, and he's just a little slow to the point. Here he is again. You're going to see same thing. Get swallowed up. Here, you should be getting through this gap. Like, I get it, he's held a little bit, but you need to be stronger. You got to run through that. Really make this guy hold you. Like, you've got to be out here and really fighting this off. Instead, just seems way too easy for him to get swallowed up. That's a big gain through his gap. I want to see more fight there. Here, again, just gets swallowed up by the O-line, and then the jogging. You see him just kind of jogging the rest of the plate. You see that a lot on his tape. Is that happens, then he turns and he just kind of jogs, and then he'll end up on the tackle. I'm like, bro, like, you needed to hustle. And it just felt like one of those things of, like, the coach probably has a lot other issues that he's addressing with the team because their defense was so bad than him jogging.
I hate jogging. Like, what do the coaches always talk about? Like, the one thing you can control always is your effort, and the old mantra of your talent is your floor and your effort and character is your ceiling. It's like, well, you can't be jogging. And I'm sure that Fred and Dre will straighten that out real quick once he gets into practice.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's something that won't fit in the 49ers culture. Like, if you are, and I mean, that got called out by everything in 2023 when we had to play and, like, half the D line was jogging down the field. That is, like, you don't want this guy showing up in a game jogging like that. It will get called out, and it will get called out by everybody on social media. So that's something he's got to correct and has got to get in there. Now, he's also got to understand he only played 1 year playing in coverage. There's some coverage things got to clean up. So this is tough. They're going to change the strength. So they have, this is the 3 receiver side. You have the 2 receiver side here. So they're going to change the strength. Now you got 3 and 2. So it's going to go to the weak side, but then they're going to come with a post snap play action fake to the side. And that changes the strength again. So you're now, this is the strong side. This is the weak side post snap. So he's got to understand they're going to drop in cover 3. So you're going to have 3 deep. Okay. And then he's the weak side hook. And the weak side hook, the way almost everybody plays their cover 3 now, is they've got to be responsible in case this guy crosses the field, runs a deep crosser. He's got to turn and pick that up. They're not going to ask this corner to do it. They're not going to ask this linebacker to do it. They want the backside, because that's the point of leverage, the backside hook, to pick up those deep crossers. So here they have the change of strength and the play action. He's dropping in coverage. This is where he's got to understand, okay, play action. What did I see from film? I've got to turn and locate this guy coming across the field. Never does it. He doesn't sink deep enough. He's the shallower of the two here, and they're just going to throw this ball right behind him into his area. That's his man. And you can see him kind of toss his head back. Man, that's on me. So he's got to understand the nuances of coverage, because that's going to be a fundamental aspect of playing cover 3 with the 49ers.
That is going to get picked on again and again and again until he proves he can stop it. Like, I could picture Brock just feasting on that kind of a thing from an opposing linebacker. Just, oh, great, you're not getting deep enough on your drops. Awesome. Layered throw. And then you're just picking up chunk plays down the field.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, like, if I was an offensive coordinator and I look at this guy's college tape and I know I'm going to be playing him in week 2, I'm going to run those until he proves he can defend it. And every offensive coordinator will do that, because then it's going to be on tape if you don't defend it then. And then every guy is going to do that to you. Mm-hmm. Every single guy. That's just basic football. They're going to do it. The quarterbacks are going to be licking their chops. You're going to have guys like Mike Evans saying, please let me run the crosser on this guy. Let's get into this situation, cover 3. And I know this guy's going to be there, and I'm going to get chunk gains.
All right. Well, Jaden, you got to fix it, because that's giving me nightmares, because we know that guys will exploit it. That is not, let me say this. I heard like Dieter Kurtenbach talking about Jaden Dugger, and I was like, oh man, maybe this was a disaster, because he was really not high on Dugger. That wasn't as bad as I thought.
Now, in Dieter's defense, I only had 2 games of Jaden Dugger. So, and that's part of the struggle here, is he's a small school guy. Like, I have 3 sources for college film, and between the 3 of them, they had 2 games because nobody keeps Louisiana's defensive game tape. Like,
why not?
I even had they went to a bowl game against Delaware, and the person I had that had that game didn't even bother keeping Delaware's offensive tape. They kept Delaware's defensive tape. So I didn't have Louisiana playing on defense in that game. I could go watch their offense, but I can't go watch their defense because it's just not available. Like, they were not a hot team that everybody was looking at saying, we need to look at these guys for prospects. So again, that highlights kind of the challenge that they're going to have of a small school kid who was the best player on a bad defense, because he's coming into a 49ers defense where he will be the worst player on a good defense. So that will be a challenge for him to adjust to that. And hopefully, I mean, that's what you would, in theory, hope that KJ Wright and the scouts have worked through on the brain wiring side, his personality, his character. That's the stuff how is he going to handle that? Because the things like jogging and playing where he's clearly the best guy on the field, now you've got to approach the game from a different way. You're not leading to try and get other people to play like you. You are trying to play like everybody else.
It does seem like Wright has an idea for him in his head, like a plan. He has whatever vision he has. It seems like he has sort of a strategy for figuring all this stuff out, which hopefully is encouraging. Again, we're talking about a guy that was picked in the 5th round. We're going to get to the great stuff about Jaden Dugger in 1 minute. But first, before we do that, I want to remind everybody we are presented by Prize Picks. If you haven't checked out Prize Picks yet, what are you waiting for? America's #1 destination for daily fantasy lineups. It is super fun and super easy, and that's a hell of a combination. You just pick more or less on your favorite player's stats, and if you get your picks right, you win money. It is that simple. You make your lineup with just a few taps. You can do player picks. You can do team picks. You can pick from any sport going on the planet right now, non-sports as well. politics if that's your thing, whatever you're into. I promise you there's something there for you on Prize Picks. Go and check it out. You can follow me at social media, see if Prize Picks is available in your state. And if you want to try it out, use the promo code on your screen, HMA, to get $5 in lineups, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. So again, promo code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Let's get back into the Jaden Dugger film. Johnny, what's next?
So this is what is going to get everybody excited, because when he opens it up and he lets that speed loose and you see the mix of length and ability to attack and close the distance, that's where you go, okay, I'm excited here. Here, he's going to watch him fire out here, run this down. Okay, you can attack it and go get it. You can run sideline to sideline. Here he is, number 3. They're going to run this little toss out here. The ability to first stay home. He's got to stay disciplined and then fire. Once he triggers, there it is. Boom. He can get that out there. He can cover it in 3 steps. Long strider. Like, this dude has some long strides. He can close the distance quickly. Look him fire through here on a blitz.
Man, that was fast.
Yeah. I mean, he explosive, get in there in a blink of an eye. He can close. That straight line explosive speed is really something. He can get in here. He can fire through, bang, hit it. When he sees it and he wants to play fast, and he does play fast, it's really great because he beats the guard to the spot, fills the hole. Here he is in the middle. Shoot through this gap. Bang. Make a tackle in the backfield. When he fires and he's confident, he can fire through here in a hurry. Just whew.
The 49ers have a type at linebacker. That phrase you just said, when he sees it and goes for it, that applies to Dre Greenlaw. It applies to D. Winters when he was there. It applies to Nick Martin. That was what everybody said about Nick Martin. Man, when he sees it and goes after it, like, that is something that they love. Kyle always talks about guys that he loves, the guys that have no hesitation to just trust your eyes, trust your keys, and go. That is clearly their type at linebacker.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they like you said I have a type for offensive lineman. They have a type for linebacker. And I'll say, somebody asked who's he playing against. Those clips was against Mizzou, if people want to know. So he's playing against the SEC. Now, they got absolutely blown out in that game. I think it was 45-10. He didn't even play the last half of the fourth quarter because they were blown out so bad. Here, this is against the University of South Alabama. So it was interesting because I was like, I know this field. That's the field that the Senior Bowl is done on. And so they're there at USA here. But when you see him open it up and you see that stride happen, this is what it looks like. So I was like, okay, now I know the difference between you opening it up and you jogging. This is him opening it up. You see those arms going, the stride and the ability to get out there sideline to sideline. Because sometimes I was like, maybe that's just what his running looks like. I'm thinking he's jogging because he was still moving like everybody else. But when he opens it up, he moves different than everybody else. So here they're trying to get lined up quickly. He's trying to retreat, gets caught off guard, still fires in here and makes a play. So that's the thing. When you see him trigger and go get it, bang. He can close ground. Those legs, he doesn't look like he's going very far because his stride is so long, but he closes in a hurry and makes tackles. This is, to me, one of his most impressive plays. So this is, I think it was second down at the goal line against USA, and they're trying to run a little play action. They're going to bring this guy in motion. They're going to try and run this deep and then have a late release into the flat. So he's got to take away the deep, and they're trying to hit this underneath, right? So it's going to be 1 to 2. That's where they're trying to go right here at the goal line. So he's got to take away first. This guy is coming out here. Quarterback is looking there. Okay, can't go there. Now he's going to check it down to this tight end, to the number 2. Should be a touchdown. But look at him peel off his guy and then go make a high tackle.
Oh.
I love that. Like, this is textbook. Like, so you have to understand during training camp, because they can't hit during OTAs and mini camps. During training camp, first day of hitting, they're going to practice goal line tackling. And what we mean by that is that low tackling we saw around the hips, that goes away at the goal line. You don't tackle like that anymore because guys can still fall forward and you can't give up a yard. So you've got to tackle high, you got to keep your feet moving, and you've got to keep stonewall them right there. So goal line tackling is tackling high and keeping your feet pumping. This is textbook goal line tackling. Tackle high, keep the feet going, and put your guy on the ground. I love it. That is a really tough play to make. You'll see him here. Number 3. To first play action, take away the deep, then bang, meet with force at the goal line. And that was huge in that game. That play won them that game because they were up, I think, 24-22. It was on the goal line. He stops them there. They run it 2 more times, and they didn't want to throw it after that. They ran it 2 times and couldn't get a touchdown and turn the ball over on downs, and that's what changed the game. That won the game for Louisiana. So you look at how do guys play in the biggest moments that it means the most when they still play with their fundamentals. That tells you the moment isn't getting to them.
That was giving me Jacob Hollister, Dre Greenlaw vibes.
Yes.
From 2019 on the goal line of Seattle. And like what you were talking about, tackling high, we saw that year because against Atlanta, they hit Julio Jones low at the goal line and he was able to bend over and get the touchdown. And then week 17 against Seattle, it was a different story. They hit high and he couldn't get into the end zone, and that won them the number 1 seed. So we've already seen a perfect illustration of what you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a great memory. Like, did you remember that? I'm like, okay, cool. Here, you want to see, can he do what the 49ers want, which is they want to take away the intermediate and the deep. And then if you throw it short, they want to rally and tackle with violence. So can you drop deep and then rally and tackle with violence? I want to see a little bit more violence. He's got to add a little bit more mass, but here's the ability to rally, come up and get from the middle of the field out to here. That's what you want to see, that ability to cover that ground and go make a tackle. That's that Fred Warner, that Dre Greenlaw kind of thing that you're looking for, that speed to be able to cover there. And then here, really good job using what's called vision technique. So the 49ers employ this, and they have since 2017, where the idea is you're keeping 95% of your vision on the quarterback, and you're using 5% of your peripherals to feel out the routes as they're coming. So that way you can adjust slightly where you're dropping based upon where you feel the release of the route and the quarterback's eyes, but you don't want to get too drawn too much by quarterback's eyes, because a really good quarterback, they're going to be able to look you off. So, so you're going to see here, they're in cover 4. So he's playing a middle hook guy. Can he drop and pick this up? Vision technique. So you see him keeping his eyes to the quarterback. He feels the release here. So he's shading over into this area. They're going to settle it down and then drive on the ball. That's the advantage of the vision technique. When they throw this, you can drive on the ball and makes the pick. So he has had as many picks last year as Ephesians Price Hawk. So good for him.
As many picks last year as the whole friggin' 49ers defense, it feels like.
Great vision technique. Break on the ball. Love it.
I would love a guy that could generate more turnovers for this defense. I mean, look, they barely rushed the passer last year. Obviously, that's the number one thing that's going to lead to turnovers. But 20 sacks. Diamador Lenore, I think, led all corners with interceptions with 2. I mean, like we need those turnovers from somebody. So if Jaden Dugger, if that's the thing you're going to be good at, man, welcome.
Yeah. He's somebody that, we need more playmakers. We need guys who can change the game, who are going to make a big time tackle in a big moment, make an interception, force a fumble somewhere, or, go make a big tackle on third down. You need more playmakers. You needed more speed on that defense. And those are things that are there. I still think he's about a year away, but there's still a lot to like and a lot to say, okay, there's a lot of potential here.
Well, let's hope the good reports continue. I heard some positive things at OTAs, obviously training camp. This is a fun thing to get to say out loud, Johnny. Training camp starts this month. How about that?
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Finally, I love it. But yeah, hopefully when that starts, we hear some more good things. Niners, I feel, dare I say, I feel kind of comfortable with their linebacker room right now. I know Dre Greenlaw's health is always iffy, but honestly, I feel like even if the crap hits the fan like last year, they could call Eric Kendricks up again in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I mean Eric Kendricks he's always on the table and played well last year. I just wonder, how much is left in the tank. I do like the framework of the linebacker core. I like the potential of Nick Martin. I think he's got a lot of upside. We got to see him on the field though, and got to see him stay healthy, and got to see him be able to be out there. I like what Dre Greenlaw can do. He's got to stay on the field. Got to stay healthy. I think Tatum Bethune made some good strides last year. There's got to be a huge jump this year. He made a big jump from year 1 to year 2. I will give him that. Like, he's got to take just as big of a jump this year. I'm not a big fan of Luke Gifford. He's still there, but is what it is. But I do like how the linebacker room is shaping up. I think that there's a lot of things to be excited about. Especially when you start looking at what the defensive line is going to be looking like this year and being able to play guys in specialized roles. I think, okay. That could work. This could be something really cool.
You see the vision. Now, having a vision and being able to execute it all year long, as we've seen with the 49ers, two very, very different things, but we will see how it all plays out. If you would like more film breakdown, head to the Johnny Dale Football Academy on YouTube. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe. I promise you, you will have all the film you could ever want and more. It is an NFL fan's paradise. Thank you so much, Johnny, for the time this week. Very happy to have you back. And let's talk again next week.